Bubba Wallace just opened up about something that's been driving him crazy all year long, and honestly, after hearing him out, you might agree with every word. The 2026 season has been rough for the 2311 racing driver. While his teammate is winning everything in sight, Bubba is stuck fighting just to find some rhythm. And now he's speaking up about the one thing in NASCAR that's been getting under his skin race after race. Let's talk about where Bubba stands right now. He's sitting in 12th place in the NASCAR Cup Series standings. That's not where he wants to be, and it's not where his fans expected him to be either. He's only got one top 5 finish so far this year. He has 5 top 10 finishes, but when the big moments come, he just hasn't been able to close the deal. He's hoping that changes soon, but the season has been a real mixed bag for him. Now here's where it gets really interesting. His teammate Tyler Reddick has been on fire. We're talking absolutely on fire. Reddick drives the number 45 car right next to Bubba's number 23, and he's leading the entire Cup Series standings. The guy has 5 wins in just 10 starts. Let that sink in for a second. 5 wins in 10 starts. In fact, Reddick has more wins all by himself than the rest of the drivers in the top 5 combined. So Bubba is watching his teammate dominate the sport while he's stuck in the middle of the pack trying to find some answers. In the middle of all this up-and-down season, Bubba sat down with The Athletic for a 12-question interview. And during that conversation, he was asked something that opened the floodgates. The question was simple. They asked him, "What is the pettiest thing that annoys you during a race weekend?" And Bubba didn't even need to think about it. He had an answer ready to go. His big complaint? Short tracks. More specifically, the rushed mess that happens when drivers have to pick their lane before a restart. Let me explain how this works for anyone who isn't super familiar. When there's a caution flag and the race needs to restart, drivers go through something called choose time. Basically, on the lap before the race goes green again, each driver has to pick which lane they want to restart in, the inside lane or the outside lane. It sounds simple, but according to Bubba, it's been turning into chaos. Here's exactly how he put it. What's annoying is the mad dash at short tracks when it's choose time. At Martinsville, we're rushing to get all the cars through. Why not do 2 laps to go? Bristol, same thing. Why are we rushing? So Bubba is calling out 2 specific tracks here, Martinsville and Bristol. Both of those are short tracks, which means the laps go by really fast. Drivers don't have a lot of time or space to make their lane choice, and Bubba is saying it feels like everyone is just scrambling, trying to get through the choose zone before time runs out. His solution sounds pretty reasonable too. Just give them 2 laps instead of 1. Why not give the drivers a little more breathing room to make their decision? But Bubba wasn't done yet. He had another complaint, and this one is about road courses. He continued, "And then the choose cone being so close to the start-finish line at road courses, COTA, Sonoma. There are different straightaways we could use. We wait until the last little bit, and that's it." Okay, so let's break this down. On road courses, there's a cone placed on the track that marks where drivers need to make their lane choice. According to Bubba, that cone is sitting way too close to the start-finish line at places like COTA, which is the track in Texas, and Sonoma, which is the track in California. Both of those tracks have multiple long straightaways that could work just fine for the choose zone. But instead, NASCAR keeps the cone right at the end. So drivers are waiting until the very last possible moment to make their move. That's not just annoying. That can lead to some really sketchy situations on track. And then Bubba dropped one more piece that really shows how frustrating this is for him as a driver. He explained, "Yeah, like when we've had to restart in the back. I'm in 3rd gear, 4th gear going into turn 3, just trying to catch up." Think about what he's saying here. When Bubba has to restart somewhere near the back of the pack, he's not even in top gear by the time he hits turn 3. He's still climbing through the gears, just trying to catch up to the rest of the field that's already up to speed. That's a pretty wild image. The leaders are flying around the track at full speed, while drivers in the back are still trying to get their cars going. It just doesn't feel right, and Bubba is making it clear this isn't a small issue. The really interesting part of this whole conversation is that the reporter who interviewed him actually agreed with him. Jeff Gluck was the one asking the questions for The Athletic, and after Bubba shared his frustration, Jeff jumped in to back him up. He said, "You're right, because from the press box you'll see the first few guys kind of take their time, and then all of a sudden everybody's speeding up, rushing to catch the back of the field, and then it's going green. So this isn't just Bubba being grumpy because his season hasn't gone the way he wanted. This is something the people watching from above can see clearly too. The leaders cruise along nice and easy. Then suddenly, everyone behind them realizes they need to catch up fast. The whole pack gets compressed in a hurry, and then the green flag waves and the race is back on. It sounds like a recipe for accidents waiting to happen. Now think about this from a safety angle. NASCAR has spent years trying to make racing safer. They've changed cars, changed walls, changed rules. But here's a procedure that drivers and reporters are both saying needs another look. One small mistake during one of those rushed restarts and you could be looking at a major wreck. It's also worth thinking about why this comes up now. Bubba is in 12th place. His teammate is winning races left and right. The pressure is building on him to perform. So, when restarts get chaotic and put him in tough spots, every single one of those moments matters even more. A bad restart at a short track can be the difference between a top 10 finish and getting caught up in someone else's mess. The choose rule itself is actually a pretty new thing in NASCAR when you think about the long history of the sport. It was added to give drivers more control over their fate during restarts. The idea was that drivers should get to pick the lane they think gives them the best chance. That's a great idea on paper, but Bubba is showing us that the way it's being used right now might need some tweaks. His suggestions are honestly pretty simple. Give drivers more time at short tracks. Move the choose cone further back at road courses so guys aren't waiting until the last second to make their decision. These aren't huge demands. They're small adjustments that could make racing smoother and safer for everyone involved. Bubba just used one of the biggest sports media platforms out there to call out something he believes needs to change. He had specific tracks to point to. He had a reporter agreeing with him in real time. That's about as strong of a case as a driver can make. And if other drivers start speaking up too, this could turn into something NASCAR has to address sooner rather than later. What makes this whole thing stand out even more is the timing. Bubba could have stayed quiet and just focused on fixing his own season. He's already got plenty on his plate, with Reddick lighting up the standings and his own results not matching what he expected. Instead, he chose to use his voice and point at a problem that affects every single driver in the field, not just the ones up front. That takes some guts, and it shows that Bubba is thinking about more than just his own car. He's thinking about the racing itself, the safety of everyone on track, and the way the sport works as a whole. Whether NASCAR agrees or not, that kind of leadership in a tough season says a lot about who Bubba is as a competitor.